Hey Exploration Nation, today I'm on another adventure and I am in North Carolina today at the old Martonian Motel, and it's an old 1950s, 1960s motel from back in the day when motels were small and you felt at home away from home. This is an awesome location and I found out about it through none other than the Retromantic. She brought me here today, and it's a location where she's been before, and so I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I want to thank you for bringing me here today.
Well, you awesome. Brought me so many places. I'm excited to finally be able to bring you to a few today in Cherokee, North Carolina. We've only collabed in Georgia before this.
That's right. This is my first time collabing with her up here.
It's my neck of the woods.
Right now, we're going to check out the old Martonian Motel and see what's still back here, see what's not. It's been about 2 years since she's been back here. I've never been here, so it's all new to me. All right, we're going to start where most motel guests started back in the day, and that's the office. So let's go in here and see what we can find. And it's very small. This is where guests came to check in. Now, the mattress was a later addition, shall we say. Somebody possibly homeless or whatever staying in here. This was the office, and there would have been a desk in here. And this is where the air conditioner was. And some of the old curtains are still here. Retromantic already pointed out that these are from the 70s. She is correct. I still have curtains just like this, different color, but just like it, and they are from the 70s, definitely. And the ceiling fan she dated in the 80s, and I think that is correct also, is what it looks like. And the popcorn ceilings in here. And there are numerous messages on here to specific people. So apparently this is kind of a known location. But this is where a most pleasant stay started. And of course, back in the day, the highway wasn't this busy like it is now, and it wasn't 4-lane. My guess is that originally it was not this close to the motel, but the other side, 2 lanes on the other side, was where the original highway went, and it was a little further back off the road than that. So continuing on down here, old style jalousie windows in the door. Now some of the old beds and stuff are still left in here.
Yes, I do think these are original beds.
I agree. They look like it.
Definitely have a retro look. I like them.
I do too. And that's actually nice bed frames.
Yeah. Things like mini blinds would have been added a lot later. That stuff is 80s, 90s.
Do you have any idea when this place closed, or about when?
I don't. I have been around here for 18 years, and I think, but I can't be quoted on that, that it was always closed.
Okay.
So it could have lasted till the early 2000s, maybe, or 90s. Mm-hmm. I think there's evidence of later things in the rooms, but I'm not sure, and there's no information online, at least that I can find.
Oh, okay, well maybe we can get lucky and find a calendar or something.
There are calendars here, but they're from the 40s.
Oh, sweet.
Well, not calendars, they're magazines.
Oh, that's cool.
But I don't, it's not that old here, but there are some
right.
older magazines. Now here you can see the wood panel siding. I think that was probably in the office too, and they later got rid of it. But they did leave one accent wall of wood paneling here at the Martonian.
And that may have been Not sure. That may have been original with the motel because this wood paneling started to get popular in the 60s. So, but I don't know. That may be a later addition as well. Plaster walls were the norm in the 50s. Like this right here.
Yeah.
Good and solid. And oh yes.
Wait, hold on. Is it commode time?
It's commode time. Commode check. And there's one still in here. And a little restroom here. Is there a shower in here? Well, not sure. Kind of looks like, no, that's the light over the sink. Now there's no shower in there, which for some of the really small motels was not unusual. Sometimes you had a common area to shower if you needed to, but I didn't see any place in there where a shower was.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have been a bathtub either. The door's right there.
Yeah, plus the mirror over there where the sink is.
That is strange. I didn't notice that the first time I was here. There isn't a proper washroom, which you'd certainly think would have been added in the later years. We'll have to look in the other rooms and see what we can figure out.
Yeah, there may have been a shower elsewhere that everybody used. Some of these old motels sometimes did not have their own bathrooms in the rooms. You had to go down the hall. So that may have been the case with a shower here. I don't know.
We have the Sapman's brother here.
In room number 8.
Yes. We got ceiling tiles coming down as we speak. They're in the midst of falling, but not quite yet. We have a major commode smash here.
Uh-oh.
Wow, this bathroom is just rubble.
Oh, wow.
And the what do you
copper
call
thieves
it?
have been here.
The flapper thing. What is that? The toilet
Float.
float. Okay,
Yeah.
not the flapper. Oh no! I need to brush up on my commode terms.
Yeah, commode mechanics ought to be a course in school.
So this shower had a little black lining. That's interesting. In the blue tile. Each room in here does look just a little different, which is interesting. They're not cookie cutter rooms.
No, they're not. You see the shower unit, what she was talking about, the black tile in here. And obviously the copper thieves have hit this one. And this ceiling was a later addition.
Yeah, this is a kind of would you call this a drop ceiling?
Sort of. Technically, yes and no. They went to a lot of trouble to do that. I don't know what the original ceiling would have been unless it was popcorn ceiling like we saw in the office. But attic insulation in the 50s and in the 60s, like you see here, did not exist. They didn't do that. And plus, you can tell by the ceiling tiles that that's newer than 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
So they tacked on lattice work of looks like they used furring strips. That's what those are. Those are furring strips, and put this ceiling in. So my guess is that it was originally like the office. So they did a few updates.
Yeah.
Mini blinds again, which we didn't have those in 60s at all.
I am wearing proper footwear today, folks, which is great because glass just broke under my foot.
Yeah, we got broken glass everywhere.
Now here's somebody's left their walking stick.
I've got to see if this still works, and it doesn't. Either that or it's just beyond my capabilities.
Somebody may have used this for a resting place on their hike. I don't know why they left their stick here though. I mean, it's not an official walking stick, but
probably forgot it. From the messages on the wall in the office, this is kind of looking like it's a way station for cross-country hikers right here. And this bed right here, if it's either that or the ground, wouldn't be half bad actually. Throw something like a sleeping bag on top of it and have a place to spend the night.
yeah.
And I do hope nobody's in here. Because we did not clear the building first. We should have. Is anybody in here? I don't think there is. It's dragging on the floor right here. Oh my goodness. This is another disaster. But this is interesting. Dirt floor. It looks like they were digging under it. And the dirt and the rocks ended up in here of what was the bathroom. And there's one of those old globes that's still here on the bathroom light. Do you have any idea about the globe on that bathroom light? How new that might be?
Don't know. I've never seen one like that.
It may be one of the original ones with a motel then.
It could be.
It kind of looks like it, that it might be 1950s or 60s. Look like one of the original ones.
That is a modern shower curtain right there. Like 2000s. I wonder if that was actually in here, because that could indicate when it closed. Around when it closed. And yeah, I don't know why all this digging is in here. It was like this before. I remember not really understanding that.
Interesting thing about that light globe is it's got a lens on top and bottom, so when you had light going up and down at the same time, to light the whole room. And more of the jalousie windows. Yeah, somebody used this as a place to stay. Right here, they put that in there. And take a look at this. They put up a curtain. You can see. And they used a couple of the jalousie window panes to prop it up. So people have been using this as a place to overnight.
Yes, definitely people have been staying here doing little makeshift things. There's styrofoam stuck in the door there to block it.
And let's see something right here. That lock still works.
Wow, it locks.
Yeah.
It actually locks.
So, highly likely people using this. You don't find places like this where you can lock yourself in and be reasonably safe.
Yeah.
And no back door. This would be the room right here, and that's probably why the walking stick over here. And body armor, alkaline water.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's 1959, it says. Not really.
Okay, now I was waiting for this room because I remember this graffiti from before, and there was a retro stuffed animal in here, like maybe a 60s. I think it was like a purple bunny, maybe. And I took pictures of that, but it is gone. And this is the room that had a bunch of old magazines too, which I've also not seen. The floor was littered with like old copies of 50s magazines and stuff like that. So it looks like someone collected them, which is interesting.
Probably. Was all this insulation laying around like this before?
No. Maybe some, but no. The floor was covered with magazines and a weird stuffed animal.
I'm just looking to see if the insulation covered the magazines possibly, but no, somebody got those. Okay, gotta try this again myself. Oh yeah. I was telling Retromantic earlier that these jalousie windows in the doors and the rollout windows are real common in motels in Florida. That's where I used to see them years ago. But I don't recall seeing them on motels up in the mountains or anywhere else. So this is kind of unusual. This is a neat place. That's where the little window unit went.
Bam, bam.
Oh, mercy.
Dirk says this is a neat place.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Good old room number 10. A lot of memories here. Not mine, but somebody's.
Mine either, but in motels like this, my parents and I used to stay in places like this when we'd be out of town, and there was nothing like it. The big hotels can't compare with the little places like this. The owners made you feel right at home, and it was awesome. A lot of times they'd have a little restaurant where they do the cooking, so you had home-cooked meals the whole time you were staying, and that's something that's been totally lost. Not many of these places left anymore.
Okay, so now this could be missed if you were just interested in stopping here and quickly looking at this little motel. You would miss that there's actually a second building. I don't remember if we can get to it through here. Well, I'm sure you can. I don't know if this is the easiest way. But there is another building back here.
It looks like it might be the only way.
Wow, that way is...
A tree's falling right there.
Oh, actually, we can go this way.
All right.
Look at all this. Oh, and there is, on our way out, we're going to have to go down behind the building, which is actually hard to do, so get ready. Because there's a little basement room.
Cool.
Okay, so we're out behind the Martonian now. This is like a little storage area. Well, the electrical's in here too. But there's some old couch cushions and another 80s looking comforter. So this place definitely had stuff going on through the 80s. And into the 90s. We do have some old electrical here.
couple old fuses right there. And hard to tell after we come behind the copper thieves, but it looks like those electrical panels were updated at some point. That looks considerably newer. There's usually a date on these things. And yeah, I'm going to go back here through all of that and see if I can find it. Okay. Okay, and any dates may be gone, because these places usually have to have electrical inspections from time to time, and that old sticker in there is too molded to see. So nope, no dates. Nothing even as manufacturing dates on it, so nothing like that. Well, it was worth a try.
Now, something I do remember is this back area right here was way more open. In the 2 years since I was here, a tree has fallen. There was some of this, but really you could walk around in this area a lot more, and now that's a lot more difficult. But I do see a pathway to get into the other building, so let's head on.
Come on ahead.
Quite the gentleman who's pushing back the twigs and trees and brush for the Retromantic. Now this is the bad shape building. This is why I put my gloves on. Check this out.
Now this.
Ooh, the ground is so disgusting. It's just like mud, a mud pit in here.
Yes, it is. Now this is probably where the owner lived.
Yes. That's what I think. I think this was the owner's quarters.
Hideaway bed.
Yep, old hideaway bed.
I was thinking when you mentioned a separate building that it might have been a little restaurant with it, but some of these places didn't have a restaurant.
I don't think this one did. That's a kitchen though. But it was, I think it was their home kitchen.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like it wanted to come out one last time, but it just couldn't make it. Okay, now, you look first. Tell me if there's a garbage bag in the bathtub. Black garbage bag.
Yes, there is, and part of the ceiling is falling down on it. Big old spider web right here I'm fixing to walk into.
Is it a big black garbage bag?
Yes, full of something.
Alright, the garbage bag is still here. Last time, we didn't touch it or anything, but last time I came here, people in the comments and stuff, they were saying, check that bag for a body, and stuff like that. So when I came in this room, I wanted immediately to know if the bag was still there.
It's still here. So, shall we check it?
We may need to. I've waited 2 years. People told me I should have.
All right.
I got my gloves.
Hang on. All right, clear the critters.
It's nasty in here.
Yes, it is.
Alright, I got the gloves. Let me touch it.
Oh, that's going to take a minute. There we go.
On closer inspection, it doesn't look body shaped unless they were just membered. Cut or leave it in because it is October, spooky month.
Yes. Even though it's 80 degrees outside.
Alright, I think it's just garbage. I will take a closer look, but I believe last time it was more spread out.
Yeah.
And it looked scary when we looked in here. I mean, actually, we didn't really say a lot about it, but people in the comments were.
Ah.
I think it's garbage. Oh, somebody already tried to check for bodies. Look. Ramen noodles, folks. No body. Ramen noodle wrapper.
Ramen noodles, okay.
Yep, it is just a trash bag and no suspicious body parts here, folks. You can sleep soundly tonight.
There you go. The mystery has been solved.
And this bathroom has green tile, where the others had blue.
And they don't make tile like that anymore. The tile they put in newer houses now is like a mat that you just stick up, and it looks kind of like the same thing, but that's not the way these are put up. These are painstakingly done one at a time. And this is kind of a nice tub. You had a place to sit down if you needed to, or put your stuff down here at the end of the tub. That's pretty nice.
I feel better now. I've wondered about that bag for 2 years. Glad we didn't find anything alarming.
Me too.
There's another.
Okay, here we have another little room, and we are guessing this was housekeeping, maybe combined with maintenance too, but probably mostly housekeeping, because there's something for everything in here. And the shelves, probably where they kept the extra linens and everything. And this wall construction over here, let me see if I can remember to get this straight. You just said it lap and plaster?
Lath, L-A-T-H.
Lats and plaster, okay.
Lath.
Yeah, okay. Lats and plaster, okay. Got it. Anyway, it's old.
Lath?
I thought it was.
Didn't you tell me how to say it?
Yes, I thought it was lath and plaster. I had to think about it because it's often confused with lathe.
I said lathe at first, but not today, but in another video.
Okay, it's L-A-T-H, lath and plaster. That's it. Thank you. That's what this construction is right here. So definitely not 70s, most likely 50s. It's a very old construction technique that's not used anymore.
And here was the washer dryer hookup, I guess.
Yes.
Which further leads credence to the idea that this was housekeeping.
Yeah, this is going mostly housekeeping.
Yeah,
If
they would wash the sheets and things here and then put them on the shelves over there for the rooms.
Okay, now once again, curtains.
Yes, I already talked about that. Those are fairly modern. Those, you know, I don't know, it's kind of a generic pattern. I can't really guess exactly on these. Could have been anywhere from mid 80s to early 2000s, to be honest, with that kind. It's just kind of like a generic, It doesn't pop out like a 60s design.
Right.
That is way newer. so they probably spruced this place up at some point and put new curtains up.
Now, I would have never guessed that was that much newer. One of the many reasons I like collabing with you. You have information on things like this, and I like the history behind places. I also like to know how old things are that I see. It's just extras, you know.
This is the boring stuff. I don't like this stuff. It's very generic. It all looks the same. I like the big bright colors, like the purple curtains in Pennsylvania at the resort, the big mod looking flowers and stuff like that. It seems to me that once we hit like the 80s, 90s, things started to get pretty boring in terms of home decor.
Although, in its defense, these designs were going to be a lot brighter when it was new. Because this is weathered. The ones y'all found in Pennsylvania look like they were put up last week.
Yes, and they were so cool.
No, that wasn't such a good idea. Yeah, we're right by a U.S. highway, and for those of you maybe a wee bit younger, the U.S. highways were yesterday's interstates. And so the motels that you saw would be by the U.S. highways primarily, because that's where all the traffic was at the time. And when the interstates came through, a lot of these little motels went out of business because the traffic shifted to the interstates and off of the U.S. highways. And a lot of other businesses closed as a result as well. But that's why you hear all the traffic noise. We're right by the U.S. highway, and it's still a major thoroughfare up here. A Retromantic is taking us to another room that she says you can miss if you're not careful. It's like a basement room back here. We're going to see if we can still get to it. She's been here before, so she knows her way around. If I come up here on my own, I'll probably miss some of this stuff. So
yeah, here's the back side.
So thank you to the Retromantic for being our tour guide today.
You're welcome. Glad to do it since you've done it so many times for me. And here we have the back side of the building. It actually looks like it was kind of green. That might just be from where, I know like down at the base that's weathered and mossy and stuff like that. But the trim around the windows is green. And to me, it might just be my eyesight, but it looks like the cinder blocks were painted a pale green.
I agree. That would make sense. Pale green, dark green trim. So I think you're right.
So you can see the units from behind here. Now I saw a handrail. I saw a handrail down to this little room. There just may not be an easy passageway. I'm gonna find out. No, gonna get closer that way.
Okay.
Looks like we're gonna have to go through brush, but why start out here if we have to?
Exactly.
It's closer than this.
Well, the number one rule of exploration is there's always a better way than the first way you find anyway, so we'll probably find a little straight shot out of here. That's
yeah. I remember it was hard to get to before, so I expect it to be even more difficult now 2 years later.
all right, back this way. Okay. Oh, I see it.
Yep.
I didn't see that. Hang on. Let me clear the way for you.
Thank you.
No problem.
So you can look down there, right here. Right here is where we're headed. There's an additional room down there, which we will speculate on its use.
Yeah, okay. Let me zoom back out of that and Get across here. And there's the police helicopter, and we're going to prison. Okay.
Well, you used to be an officer. You can talk our way out of it.
I just got a question. How come every time we collab, the cops always show up? What's up with that?
They don't actually show up.
No, they don't really.
We have had successful urbexing.
Although in the older Knott house, they did drive by and take a look at us.
They didn't drive by, but they left us be. Wow, this is like a Tarzan vine.
Yes, it is. Watch, you did the same thing I did. You hooked your leg in it right there. Yeah.
Alrighty.
That's why I almost ended up on my face right there.
After all the rain we've had, which is so much lately, I was wondering how bad this room would be. But it doesn't look bad from here.
No, it doesn't.
Sure, it'll be a little squishy.
You'd think the stairs would have been a waterfall, and they may have been. Okay. I don't think there's anybody in here.
Okay, this is the last little room of the Martonian.
Alright, just clearing the room before the Retromantic comes in here. Just make sure we don't have any two-legged surprises.
Okay. Not as bad, or it was actually muddier and grosser before, believe it or not.
Now, guessing as to what this was?
Little study.
Good question. There's part of a bed frame down here, and of course the mattress and everything. I wonder if the caretaker or if they actually had a maintenance person live here on premises.
Yeah.
And this was it.
Could be, this could be, it could have just been something that originally was basement storage, but they decided to turn it into another room for extra income. I mean, it's kind of dank, but I'm sure it wasn't when it was first made, and it has the full bathroom. It had everything in here. Either that, or like you said, it could have been a caretaker's room, something of the sort. That little window. Still with the curtains.
Yes.
And that's looking 80s, 90s again to me. Nothing later than that. An old mirror. I can see with my light, but it had a little design on the corner there.
Oh, I didn't see that. I cut mine off because there. Yeah, I have to get mine separately from you there because it's glaring in it, but yeah, it's a pretty little design right there.
I guess it was just a bathtub, and they've got this curtain rod thing that they put up to, like, what I'm trying to say is this wasn't a living space, and there's things around that you can see that were added that aren't typical of the other rooms. Look at this.
There's no shower head like behind that curtain over there, or no? No, there wouldn't be room. Never mind.
I thought at first, oops, cut myself off here. I thought at first that might be the case, but it's not.
The towel rack back there, I thought there was a shower head, but there's not.
So this says Traveler Products. The Traveler, America's only guaranteed non-mildew shower curtain by AIM Company. And I don't think they meant AOL Instant Messenger.
I don't think so. Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah. Remove soap residue and body oil stains. I love that. By sponging with ammonia solution in cold water, no detergents. body oil stains. Ah! Yeah, so there's room for speculation about this room.
And there's a comforter back over here.
Does it look to you like some stuff was burned?
Kind of, yes, it does.
Yeah, the mattress fluff or whatever has some burn marks. Newer blinds. Another, I'd say, 80s indicator.
At least. Those mini blinds weren't popular until at least then.
Yeah. We do have another comforter down here, which is also the same. 80s.
80s.
90s, even. Now, this desk has had something done to it. It looks like somebody sponge painted it, which was a popular thing to do in the 80s and 90s, but it ruins furniture, especially those. Now, this was a cheaper piece, so, you know, that's one thing. But, and people still do this today, not sponge painting, but they'll paint over some of that old furniture, old MCM, mid-century modern stuff, and it diminishes the value of it.
Yes,
I mean, to each his own. If you want to do that in your own house, it's fine. But I cringe when I see it.
I hate painted wood all the way around.
Yeah, because those older pieces, they're made pretty much worthless. Well, not worthless, but it really diminishes the value when you paint over it. And you could still strip it off, but leaving stuff with its original finish is the way to go.
Yes, it is. I totally agree. And even if it wasn't, that's the way I prefer it anyway.
But yeah, somebody got a little creative with this. For whatever reason, it looks like they painted it blue and then took or it was white. I don't know if it's blue or white first, but they took a sponge and went through like this to make that design. So I don't know, somebody decided to get a little creative. Maybe this was more of a personal space. So maybe, you know, they were able to kind of change up the furniture a little bit because this was their living space. I actually kind of like this unit. I mean, right now, of course, it's really mildewy and gross, but when it was kept up, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's got a full bathroom. It's got this little ledge here and here. Mm-hmm. And then it's got like a little nook where you could use a desk.
Now, the interesting thing about it, see those straps up there?
Yeah.
Those straps are used to hold pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no place for pipe to go.
Drop ceiling.
Unless it's somewhere up that, well, no, it would have been, it had to go right through the wall right there. I think that's just interesting. But I agree, this would be a neat little place to have as living quarters. And really, back in the day, a lot of times, this is what a lot of people had. The YMCA used to rent rooms, and a lot of people lived there, just in a room, and that was it. As I heard one person say, you know, when you get rid of all the stuff you don't need, it's surprising how little space you really need to live. And if this was a caretaker, then they probably doubled as a night watchman after the owners moved off premises if they initially lived here.
Well, I couldn't do it. There's no place for my retro toys.
And the lock on this door still works.
Huh.
Yeah, Retromantic just pointed out that other rooms have door numbers on them. This one doesn't, so She's kind of leaning towards the idea this was a caretaker. Or maybe, possibly, when the motel was first built, maybe the owners lived here.
That could be.
Because if they didn't have a lot of money after they got the motel built, this could have been all they could do. People used to, back in the day, used to get by on a whole lot less than they do now. And so it could be. We're just not entirely sure about some of this, but I think Retromantic was right. Judging from the sponge painted furniture back there, this is somebody's personal living space. So maybe a caretaker that doubled as a night watchman or something at some point.
And we actually have the name of the original owners. It's public knowledge, and it's on a postcard. Let's see if I can find that really quick. Original owners were named Grady and Lois Martin. So, yep, that was the original owners. Want to just pay homage to them for a little bit. The Martonian. Now their last name was Martin, so do you think they were playing on Martonian? It's kind of close.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Now what I'm about to show you here is an old crepe myrtle. Now on the postcard of the location that the Retromantic found, the driveway was lined with crepe myrtles, and in the postcard they were only like, what, maybe about 2 feet high, and that's about it.
Yep, very small.
And this one, she was trying to locate it. We found it, and this looks like the only one that is surviving. But as you can see, it is quite old. Crepe myrtles are very slow growing, and so my guess is this one is every bit of 50 years old, probably older. Because the driveway was originally lined with crepe myrtles when the motel was built. So whenever it was built in the 50s or the 60s, this was planted here and is still here.
Lois probably planted them. Lois Martin.
Most likely. And there was a bunch of them going out through there, but we couldn't find any of the others, so I think this is the only surviving crepe myrtle left. Well, that wraps it up for the Martonian Motel.
The Martonian!
In Western North Carolina. This has been a great explore. Thank you, Retro, for bringing me here.
Thank you for coming with me. Something I really enjoyed about coming here this time was that I got to move through slower. I believe we had other locations to be at, other places to be. Last time we rushed it a little, but this time I felt like I could really look at things and really think about them when I went to room before moving on. So I enjoyed that. Like I said, I've wanted to come back for 2 years and take another look, so I thank you for coming with me today, because it wouldn't have been a good place to go alone, so thank you for joining me.
Well, you are quite welcome. It was my pleasure. This is an awesome location. We got some other places to go. Watch out for those videos. In the meantime, subscribe to this one. Great videos. Subscribe. Now, we'll wait. You back yet? Okay.
Way to put the pressure on them, Dirk.
No pressure. Just do it now. But she has a great channel. Go check her out, and I would definitely appreciate it, and so would she. So thank you for joining us. So in the meantime, Exploration Nation, we'll see you in the next video. Exit stage left.
I'm gonna book a room. Be right back. Someone's trying to take my microphone. Ah!
Oh, I see it. Sorry. Hold on. There you go.
No, I need that.
Yes. Well, maybe the bush had something to say. It was trying to talk, so it grabbed your microphone.
Apparently.